everyone. I'm here to share something really very informative, and today we are going to take very advanced and different topic which is about American literature. American literature is really very important aspect of English literature. So let's start. American literature. America is a poem in our eyes. Its ample geography does the imagination, and it will not wait long for meters. Words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, American scholar. And let's start with the beginning. America was invented by great man Christopher Columbus, and then gradually it became the land of dreams for Europeans, a youthful virgin country with new belief and hope. With the emerging of America, there are various things started, like writing of colonial and revolutionary Puritan narratives. John Winthrop is a lawyer and governor. He set first government of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, and he is a chief figure among the Puritan and the founder of New England. His major contribution to the literary world were a model of Christian charity, which has been written in 1630, and the history of New England, which has been written 1630 to 1649, also known as the Journal of John. But all these work has not been published during his lifetime. He didn't get any fame because of his work. And when he wrote this, he just keep two things in mind, that how we can treat one to another as a Puritan, how we can help to each other to settle, to grow our new area. And it was pretty difficult to them because they are settlers and they just went to find a new land and to start something new, and they was not aware with the condition, weather condition, the food and everything, which is really important if you're going to survive in a new land. Even though they started their journey, and he's a great preacher. He preached a lot, and he believed in his youth about the soul and the peace in God. And after that, very important figure is John Smith. He is also play a vital role to contribute in literary canon. And John Smith is a governor and explorer, and his work are A True Relation of Virginia, published in 1608, and the Journal History of Virginia, New England, and the Summer Isles, often abbreviated the Journal History, which has been written in 1624. Another influential figure of Puritan narrative is William Bradford. He is also settler and governor, and his work is Of Plymouth Plantation, published in 1651. Of Plymouth Plantation is a first-hand account of all the events which he has been faced during his voyage and first 25 years of settlement in Plymouth. It has been written in a pamphlet and as a journal, and all these 24 years has been mentioned in this work. After that, we can understand about the Revolution period. The very famous poet, writer, philosopher, activist, and revolutionary of this period is Thomas Paine. He is also called the father of revolution, and his work, The Age of Reason, which has been published in 1794, and the other work is Common Sense, that is also written in 1777. So in this work, he has been attacked, or he has attacked on the Orthodox Christianity, and this work has been published in 3 sections. The Age of Reason is also defined about the corruption which is prevailing at the time in church, and all this corruption which is revolved around the church. It is a kind of satire, a kind of attack on the Orthodox Christianity. Later, we can discuss about the very important figure of the century, Judith Sargent Murray. She is an essay writer, advocate for female rights, and she also raises her voice against the female rights and equality. 2 works which is written by Judith Sargent Murray is really very important. On the Equality of the Sex, published in 2 parts in Massachusetts magazines 1792 and 1794. And another work is The Story of Margareta, which is also published in 1798. In this work, she advocated the right of women and also suggested that how women can adjust their study with their house chores and responsibilities. She preferred early morning hours for study. She defined that any female can study in the early hour of the day, and then she can continue with her chores and responsibility, whatever she would like to do in her daily routine. And later on, Edgar Allan Poe, basically known for short stories, inventor of detective fictions. So detective fictions invented by Edgar Allan Poe, and The House of Usher first published in 1839 in Burton's Gentleman's Magazine, and it is a basically gothic fiction. And another work is The Raven 1845 and The Gold Bug. In The Raven, narrator is sitting half sleeping and half reading a book. All of a sudden, he heard a knock. Somebody is knocking the door. He just went there and opened the door, and he saw that there is no one. Then he assumed maybe the wind is there, but he saw a raven. A raven is a bird, black bird. Raven was sitting on the door. And as usually we whenever we see the birds, as a bird lover, we just started to talk to birds that what's your name, hi lovely bird, what are you doing. So narrator is also started to talk to bird, and surprisingly he asked to the bird that what's your name, and the bird is also responded nevermore. After getting the response from the bird, he started to continue his conversation with the raven. So all story revolve around the conversations between narrator and raven. Then we have very important philosophy, American philosophy, that is Transcendentalism. And who are the Transcendentalists and which kind of philosophy they follow, we are just going to discuss. Transcendentalist belief not based on religious belief, but the way in which a person can understand as per his sense and logic. The group of people who belongs to this thought called Transcendental Club. And they are also related with the periodic that is called the Dial, and edited by Margaret Fuller, a political radical feminist, whose book is Women of the 19th Century was really very famous at the time. And this club had many various thinkers, but who's the head of this club? Ralph Waldo Emerson. And Rolf Emerson studied at Harvard, and he's a lecturer and recognized as the first truly American thinker. In his most famous essay, The American Scholar, he suggested don't copy, don't imitate to the others, especially Europeans, because everyone has its own potential, own abilities and qualities naturally, which is given by God, and we can work on that. Don't copy them. You are naturally good, so why are you imitating to others? And in this philosophy, basically people believe in the goodness of the people and nature. They are not in the favor of to follow the God rules and believe blindly, and they just work on the what they are thinking and assuming as per their senses and experiences. And Mary Wollstonecraft. Mary Wollstonecraft, 1759 to 1797. Wollstonecraft is the best known for a vindication of the right of women, and she is regarded as one of the founding feminist philosophers. In her work, A Vindication of the Right of Women, she described the education, the importance of educations, how important education is for female, and how they can grow themselves and can raise and can take their right on the equality basis. And the second one is Fanny Burney. She published her first novel, Evelina, anonymously in 1778 and followed it with Cecilia in 1782 and The Camellia in 1796 and The Wanderer in 1814. In the Evelina, she described a story of a girl. She's well educated but not advanced, not suitable to adjust in modern time period, modernity. And when she went to London, and it's a journey, it is a kind of journey, and she grew herself physically, mentally, socially, and become well educated as well as advanced. After that, we can discuss about the 18th century female writing, Jane Austen, Charlotte Bronte, and Jane Eyre, Afraban Orinoco. Jane Austen, in Pride and Prejudice, also raises the female issues beautifully, and Afraban also, because she's a Nigerian writer, she also raised very social issues about the slave. It's a story of a grandson of a king and various problems which he faced during his lifetime. In the 19th century, Kate Chopin, The Awakening, Elizabeth Barrett Browning, Poet, and My Beloved Poem, Emily Bronte, Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is really very important work of Emily Bronte, and here I would like to give short description about the Elizabeth Barrett Browning, My Beloved. Here she is sitting and just looking toward the snow. There is no footprint of her beloved, but she is remembering the moment which she has been spent with her beloved last year. Everything has no sign, no sign has been left on the snow, no footprint, nothing. But something is really very fresh in her mind about the moment which she spent with her beloved, and it's still fresh and alive. In the 20th century, Toni Morrison, Virginia Woolf, and Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Toni Morrison, in the Bluest Eyes, by the help of the protagonist Pacola, she described a reality of the society that being a black girl, she didn't get attention and love. That's why she desires blue eyes to look good, to look beautiful, and to get the love and care around her. A Room of One's Own is an extended essay by Virginia Woolf, and based on her two lectures which she has given in two women's college, and the title of the lecture is Women and Fiction. In this essay, Virginia Woolf disclosed that as a female we need a room of one's own and financially independency, and within solitaire we can create something really productive and creative. After that, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, born in 1977, her work is Purple Hibiscus and Americana. Both work are really famous work of Adichie. Later on, we can discuss about the 21st century female writer Naomi Wolf, The Beauty Maiden, Khalid Hosseini. His hit book is Thousand Splendid Suns. Alice Walker, author of The Color Purple. So here I would like to give an example of the Thousand Splendid Suns, a brief intro of the novel, which is written by Khalid Hosseini. And this, he raised the issue of female situation in the society here with the help of two women characters like Mariam and Leila. He has described the reality of the female situation in that time in Afghanistan. And both are, Mariam is an illegitimate child, therefore she didn't get the respect and dignity and didn't live a dignified life because everybody is abusing her. On the other hand, Leila has some privileged and has bring up she's nurtured by the capable parents in a rich family, even though both female characters face the same situations. And eventually Leila also, he's a very young, even she also forced to get married with the Mariam's old husband. So by these characters, Khalid Hosseini raises some social issues and the problems of the female at the time. After that, we have very important topic, which is imagism and objective. Imagism was a movement in early 20th century Anglo-American poetry in which concrete images, precise words has been used. Rather complex rhetorical devices of Romantic era, they used free verse for writing. And the Ezra Pound is noted as a founder of images. Example of images in the poem of Ezra Pound in a station F metro. The partition of these faces in the crowd, battles on a wet black bow. Within 2 lines, Ezra Pound successfully created an imagery of metro station where lots of people with vivid faces are roaming here and there. So it is a scene of metro station. In imagism concept, the clarity of expressions really matter, and it has been written in free verse, and it is a reactionary movement against the Romantic era. After that, we can move into Neo-Negro movement and beyond. Neo-Negro is a term popularized during the Harlem Renaissance. Neo-Negro movement is in 1916 to 17. Herbert Harrison is a founder of the New Negro movement, and he founded this movement in 1917. He established the first organization which name is the Liberty League, and the first newspaper, The Voice of the New Negro movement, and this movement related with class consciousness and demand for equality. At the time, Negro has been suffering lots of problems. They has been treating just like a animal and slave, and whenever they just feel conscious and they become aware with the situations of their lives and the reality of their lives and separations, they just start to raise their voices against these separations with their anguish and sadness and so on. Confessional poetry is the poetry of personal or I. In this kind of poetry, poet expressed his or her own pain, anguish, trauma, depression, death of any family member, and so on. This style of writing emerged in 1950 to between 1950 to 1960, and the group of poets which fall in this kind of poetry is Robert Lowell, Sylvia Plath, Annie Sexton, and W.B. Snodgrass. Sylvia Plath she led very tragical life. She was under depression, was facing bipolar depression. Her life and she ended her life at the age of 30. She's one of the pioneers of the confessional poetry. So here I would like to give an example of her one very famous poem, Daddy. Daddy, I have had to kill you. You died before I had time. Marble heavy, a bag full of gold, costly statue with one grey toe, big as a fresco seal. Here she is exploring her relationship with her father, and she's following a love-hate relationship with her father, and also a kind of sadness, a trauma we can sense within the lines after losing her father. After her father, that she's just analyzing all the points, all these emotions, and linked in her poem in a way that which kind of relation she has with her father and how she feeling after losing him. So I'm just wrapping up my lesson. I hope you would like it and you understand it well, and I will come back soon with something new and informative. Till then, you take care and bye bye. Thanks for